Well, look at that. Not good. This is the cover, or half of the cover, for the AC unit on a 75 Chevy Nova. I'm pretty certain that you probably can't buy reproductions of these. So I'm going to have to make some type of a repair. And my thought is, I'm going to use some fiberglass resin that I picked up at a swap meet, and with some fiberglass mats. I believe I'm going to put this down in this area, try to re-secure this, give it some strength. Luckily, all the mounting points are still there, so all that hopefully is still in alignment. So hopefully I'm just going to strengthen this piece up, and then since I did previous owner blue spray paint all over it, I don't think the outside's going to be quite as important. I'll probably just use some plastic filler and fill these areas in and make it a little smoother and hopefully look a little bit more finished. So we'll show you the process here, see if my idea is going to work or if it's just, well, just a dream. Well, I wound up cleaning that up with a little bit of brake clean and a rag, and I'm happy to say that it wasn't too caustic on it, so it didn't cause any issues. So what I'm doing now is going to cut some fiberglass matting here to fit into this space. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but I think it's going to do what I need it to do, which is just to help to make this a little bit more stable. Since it's so cracked up, I think that is going to fit down into this space. Let me actually take it down a little lower there. I think that will do. And then let's stop that from unraveling. Hopefully it'll stop that. A little excess off on the other side here. I think that should do. So the next step is going to be mixing up the two parts of our fiberglass resin with the hardener. And I'm going to get a container, I'm going to get some rubber gloves and a paintbrush, and we're going to start smearing that in. But before I do that, I believe, because I'm not sure, I just don't like the way that's laying in there, I think I'm going to put some tape on the opposite side of this just to help to hold that together in the shape that I want it to. So I added the tape, not real pretty. I would have rather used some heavier duty tape like Gorilla Tape or something, but couldn't find any laying around. But I put duct tape on it, so now it's holding everything pretty much in place where it needs to be. That's just a little bit loose in there. Also, it'll help to keep some of my fiberglass from running down outside of those holes. I'll have to play with this a little bit as I get things in here. So, what I'm going to attempt to do here next is mix up fiberglass. Now, according to the label, it is 16 drops of hardener to 1 ounce of fiberglass. So, or resin, that is. I think that is about 1 ounce. I'm going to go a little bit more, and we'll do 20 drops. That way I should hopefully have enough. I've used this before. It's hard to count the drops. Maybe I cut the thing too large. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 19 and 20. Alright, try to blend all this. I should probably be using a little stir stick or something, but I'm hoping this will work just using my application brush. Now what my plan is, I'm going to put a light layer of this on first, and then I'm going to put my fiberglass cloth over top and then paint more of this on that. So we'll see how well that works out. And of course, I'm guessing exactly where all of my cloth is going to land. I wonder how hard it's going to be to get this duct tape back off when I do this. Guess I'll find out. Okay. Gonna lay this mat down in here. I don't think I did too bad. I can always cut that excess off. And as I'm pushing on this, I can actually feel that resin coming up through there. And I didn't really put a very thick layer on, so I feel pretty comfortable with that. I don't think I got any of it in there. My biggest concern is getting all those areas where it's cracked and actually missing. Alright. Gonna go over top of it now. I probably should have mixed up a little bit more of this. But I really didn't want to be wasteful with a hardener. Also, I'm sure like body filler, if you put this on too thick, probably not the best for curing. Actually, I feel pretty good about that. I may have just the right amount here. I'm trying to push it through this matting a little bit because that's one area I didn't have it on the surface before I put it on in place. It's actually starting to get a little gummy feeling, so I might have the hardener just right. I think I got an air bubble on that. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. Okay, I think we're just going to let this harden up, and then we'll see how that comes out. Well, after an overnight, seems like everything is pretty much hardened up. So it looks like the next step is going to be trim a little bit of that excess off. I'm going to start to clean and sand this side of it. And I'm going to start mixing up a little bit of plastic sealer and or filler and fill in some of these gaps and try to make it look at least a little bit more presentable. And get started on that. Blend that in. Yeah, you can tell I was scraping the bottom of the can because this filler is just thick and disgusting. If I were putting this on a nice finished car, I would not be using this. But considering I'm just making a repair on this piece, I'm not too concerned about it. After all, it's low budget. Looking like it's mixed pretty good. I'm just going to use a screwdriver here to scrape that off, just to make sure I got hardener through all this. Yeah, that is just not the consistency I like as far as being able to put something on nice and smooth. That is very thick and disgusting. Alright, we're going to try and fill some of this in. I don't want to go crazy on this. I'm really just trying to smooth it out, make it look a little bit better. Because we put all the strength in the back with the fiberglass mesh. Trying to keep this so you can see what I'm doing here. One thing about body filler, if you put too much on, you're going to be doing more sanding. So typically you want to put just enough on to do what you need. With just a little bit of extra in some areas to sand it to get it at the level that you want. Basically, I am just trying to smooth it in the right shape here without too much excess on it. I'm going to scrape that up there. I don't need a bunch up there. With body filler, you only have a certain amount of work time. When you put that hardener in there, it causes a chemical reaction to cause this to harden up. Without it, your putty will never get hard, so you have to use the hardener. At some point I'll do a better video of how to really do proper plastic work. This down here is not too bad. We're going to doctor that up a little bit. You don't really ever want to put your putty on real thick either. One, if you're putting it on thick, it means you probably didn't do the right thing in the first place by fixing whatever it is you're trying to doctor up. But also, thick fill has a tendency to crack and break, cause you more problems down the road. I think I'm pretty good with that. Again, I'm just trying to smooth it out here in the end so it looks decent. Now this is hardened up a little bit. I can start sanding some of this off. Probably going to need a little bit more aggressive paper than 150, but what I happen to have laying here. Now to get a better edge, I would be better off using a little block of wood or something, and that way it would be a little bit better. Got a socket here. It's a straighter edge. So I can use that. I can also use that to help get this nice little roll in here. I'm not really looking to have this perfect. Again, this was just to fill in those good gaps. This isn't an area that I'm all that concerned about. I'm more for the function than I am about the cosmetics on this particular vehicle. But I think I about got that. Didn't take too long. As you can see, you know, the sanding dust, whatever you put on, you put too much on, you're sanding it back off, so you're just creating more work for yourself. So always try to put on pretty much just what you need, or maybe just barely beyond what you need. Save yourself some work. So there we go. I think this is ready for primer. I'll throw a little bit of paint on it, and hopefully it'll look a lot better. It'll be a lot stronger than it was before. What I wound up doing to try and make this look more like fiberglass is really what it was. These were really, I think, from the factory, probably unpainted and just a basic gel coat. I hit it with hammered dark gray, which gave it a little bit more of a texture, and then I dusted it with some flat black. So I think it kind of gave it the right look. Again, this isn't a show car, but at least everything is one color. Here's the other half of the case. So everything looks, I think, a lot better, cleaner, and of course stronger. I shouldn't have to worry about this coming apart again. So there it is. You can repair one of these that is cracked using just your simple fiberglass resin and some mats and a little plastic body filler and some paint, and you're back in business. I think it looks pretty factory with that paint work on it. So I'm pretty happy with that.